He changed the name to drop down.
Come on!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Football Live Show. Yes, we've got the typical motley crew tonight. Dan, Nigel, Simon, and joining us on the panel, of course, Nottingham Forest playing Liverpool this weekend in the quarterfinals of the Cup. It is Gary Clarke, a.k.a. Boatsy. How are you doing, Gary? Well, we've lost him, I think. Are you there, fella? No? All right, we've lost him a little bit there. Never mind, he's gone. It's gone. He'll be back on, no doubt. How are you doing, Simon, anyway?
All good. All good here. Looking forward to another good weekend of football.
Yeah. Rover's doing well there.
Yeah.
Daniel, how are you, sir?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, very good. Had a busy week.
Yeah.
What's the speak?
And how's our Nigel?
Yeah, I'm all right. Apart from the fact that Derby and Watford lost, just not me, Mike. Yeah, the good news is Billericay have won 2 on the trot.
Yes.
So
I noticed that a massive win for Billericay, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and
but I think
they're within touching distance of survival now, aren't they?
Yes, right. I don't know about. I think I'm really not getting good vibes about Derby and Watford at the moment. So
yeah.
Well,
we've got Gary back on with us. Hopefully he'll hear me now. How you doing, Gaz? You all right, Gaz? I don't know. I get called it all the time.
Yeah, I lost you then, and it started breaking reason. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, so how are you doing, mate? Have you been well?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So you know Simon, you know Dan, you've not met Nigel. I'm sure you'll love him to bits because he played the Derby, but there we are. Nigel, Gary. Now, I'm going to just bring a little photo up here because Gary had a little photo sent to him from a friend of him who's a Derby supporter. And yet, Gary has got friends who are Derby supporters. And it goes a little bit like that one, Nigel.
Yeah.
Keep that quiet.
That's at the Neptune.
I got sent this morning. I got sent that this morning. How much that? You're DJing in the pub in Derby.
Yeah, that's it. It's a big Derby County. Big Derby County bar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Neptunes.
That's right, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Simon's just left us because his internet has gone down by the looks of it. He's just left me a message as he's left. So we're having a great night tonight, aren't we? Everyone's dropping off through internet problems. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, look, folks, we are slightly changing the format of our shows. We're going to be reducing it down now, trying to do it for about an hour. We're going to go straight in. When we have guests on now, they're going to come on as part of the panel. Yes, a little bit of an intro. Gary doesn't need an intro because he's been on the show with us before. But anyone who comes on the show that's a guest will be following up with what we call under the floodlights interviews. So we're going to be straight in on the football chatter, and then there'll be a one-on-one interview coming out with whoever the guest is a week later, and that'll be an in-depth interview with that person. So we're going to crack straight into the footy chaps, and we're going to go straight into the FA Cup. Anything else can come after that. Well, big weekend, quarterfinals. 2 non-Premier League clubs left in the competition. One being your club, Gary. So shall we start with Forest Liverpool? I think Simon's back now. He's coming under me. Didn't know I had a brother.
He's great again.
I'm having real trouble with my speakers, unfortunately. So, Forest Liverpool, what do you reckon your chances are, mate?
It's going to be hard.
Okay.
They're probably the best team in the world. I mean, they're obviously going to play a top team, but I mean, their weak team is good enough, better than any championship team anyway, and probably beat off the Premier League. I mean, they cut with the second string, didn't they? We'll put our strongest team out. Hopefully, we do injuries, which is worrying. We've lost 3 of our defence over the last few weeks. We lost Cook at the weekend and Lowe, and last night McKenna came up with might be pulled hamstring. I'm not sure. They're looking at him tomorrow. So weak in defence. I think we'll come all guns blazing. We'll attack them. If we can keep 0-0 or get a goal first half, I think an off night. There's a FA Cup. There's always, I'm praying we can get to one. Obviously, but, I think if they get a night, you know what I mean.
You've got to be pleased with what you've done so far, though, mate, haven't you? I mean, you've knocked out 2 big names now in the cup, haven't you? 2 great nights, Gary, I guess, for you guys.
Sure. Gary?
Okay. Dan?
Yeah, hello.
Can you take over for me, mate? Because I really am having trouble with my speakers here, so I'm struggling to hear. So, sorry, I'm going to really drop you right in the poo. And if you could just take over for a little while I try and sort it out, mate.
It's been a dream to beat Arsenal.
Oh, you're breaking up, Gal. Gary, yeah. Yeah, well, let's move on to the next game. What game we got come out next? We'll come back to Gary Boatsy in a minute. Next game is on Sunday morning. My team, Palace, against Everton. Thoughts on that, boys? Nigel?
Palace, Everton. I've got to fancy Palace at the moment. I mean, Everton are woeful. So, it depends which Everton side turns up, but I've got to say I do fancy Palace at home. They're not playing bad at the moment. Yeah,
Everton are looking really, really poor, aren't they? But yeah, Palace are strong at home and we're on a good run at the minute. Had a good result against Man City in the week. Felt like a win, 0-0. So
it's different with the FA Cup because, it's a chance to win a bit of a silverware. Yeah. And it could turn what is a bit of a crap season into a good season for them, provided they stay up. That is. I think there'll be a different Everton side turning up to Palace at the weekend. So I still fancy Palace.
Yeah, I think the pressure's off for Everton. It's not the Premier League pressure, is it? So yeah, you could be right there. What's your thoughts, Simon? Any thoughts on Palace? Oh, go on here, Simon. Now. Hello, Simon. No, he's gone.
It's like the Norman Collier show.
We're having a nightmare tonight. I think this show's going badly wrong. Badly wrong. Can't even hear what Simon's saying.
That right. Middlesbrough Chelsea. That game's on. That's the evening game on Saturday.
Chelsea win that.
You think so? Were they going to have any fans there, are they?
They don't need fans.
No.
that side, he'll go to Middlesbrough. He wants as many trophies as he can get as well, Tuchel. So
Yeah.
I can't see him putting a weak side out against Middlesbrough.
But Middlesbrough ain't a bad side, though. They've knocked out two Premier League teams now, haven't they? So
yeah, but you're talking about Chelsea, Liverpool,
yeah.
Man City, the top three. Them teams are possibly streets ahead of some of the other sides in the Premier at the moment.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, you never know. Great manager, Chris Wilder at Borough, so could be tight. Can anyone else hear me who wants to add to this? No. Right, let's move on to the next game.
Just me and you,
I'm
mate.
coming off for a minute.
Right, Red Forest, Newell, Southampton, Man City. Nigel, what do you reckon on that one?
Cool. Again, I don't know what's. Well, I think Man City will win it. Like I said, they're another team that he likes to win as many trophies as he can. And I think on the day, Man City are too good for anyone.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I'd definitely. I say Man City on that one.
I mean, would they even rest players? They don't really rest players. No, they've got the big game Liverpool coming up in a couple of weeks, which is probably a title decide, isn't it? So maybe Liverpool, Man City might rest, but then their squads are brilliant anyway, aren't they? So I don't think that make much difference.
I don't think they will. I think both managers are the managers that want to get as many trophies as they can.
Yeah.
At the start of the tournament, they'll put weakened sides out, but when you start getting to the back end, the quarterfinals, semi-finals, it's get your best team out, isn't it?
No, definitely. And Southampton have had a couple of bad results of late, but they're a strong side at home, aren't they? Hazel, I can't even pronounce his name. Hasenhüttl. But that should be a good game. So that's the 4 games. I don't know if anyone else. Simon, can you speak yet, Simon? We need subtitles. Right. Well, what I did find the other day, Nigel, was your run for Watford in the FA Cup in 1984. I don't know if you can see that.
No.
It's a bit low, but it's got your run through to the final with a great team you had. And you started off in the first round the third round against Luton Town, which I didn't realise at the time. They're your big rivals, aren't they?
Did we win that 4-3 or something like that?
First game was a draw.
Yeah, I got a goal in that.
Did you?
Yeah, but I remember it's funny because I think we won in extra time. I'm not sure, but after the match, I was speaking to John Barnes, and I said, Luton are sort of a bit of a bogey side for Watford when I was playing. And I said to him, you know what, we'll probably go all the way now. And that was after the Luton match. So
were they a big rival then, Luton, with Watford, Gary?
Cool, not many, mate. Yeah,
we hated Luton.
Yeah, not many, mate. Yeah,
is that just geographical?
Mate,
is it, or
it just we haven't played them for so many years, and I mean, it was always a bit messy. It was always, a naughty day. Always a naughty day. It's
yeah. To be fair, Luton had a good side.
You were saying, Nigel, about after beating Luton, going all the way. I was at Charlton for the 2-0 win, and a guy behind me, I'll never forget this. He said, "We're going all the way this year," and I got to be honest, I laughed. And lo and behold, we went all the way, other than obviously lifting the trophy. But yeah,
you won 2. You drew 2 in the first game. It was a replay, and then it was 4-3. You're right. You was right, Nigel, with that one. But
yeah, brilliant, knocking them out of the cup, mate.
I got a good goal in that one.
Second round, you had Charlton away. Another 2-0 win. Do you remember much of that, Nigel?
I can't remember that game, to be honest. I can't remember too much about that. I remember.
And then Birmingham. No, Brighton. You beat Brighton 2-1.
Brighton, yeah.
No, 3-1. 3-1. Birmingham. You beat Birmingham 2-1, and then you got through to semi-final against Plymouth Argyle.
We were talking in the week about that Birmingham game, Nigel, weren't we?
Yeah,
we were talking about that. You were saying about the team coach not turning up on time.
No, we got caught in. Well, we got caught in the traffic. So basically, we couldn't get the coach round to the entrance. We ended up being about 15, 20 minutes late. So we didn't go out for a warm-up. We done a warm-up in the dressing room. And they put the team sheet in. And basically, first time we went out on the grass was for kickoff, virtually. We had 5 minutes before kickoff. So when we went to Villa, instead of getting there for about 1:30, 1:45, Graham Taylor made sure the coach driver didn't get us there till about 2:00 because he's a little bit superstitious, but it seemed to work. Yeah.
So where was the semi-final that year? The Plymouth, was that
Villa Park?
Oh, it was Villa Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were Plymouth a second division team then? Were they? Well, they weren't top division, were they?
Oh, Plymouth. No,
they were second division. We were first division.
Was it old Tommy Tynan up front for them? Was it? He was an old Plymouth legend, wasn't he? Does that name ring any bells, Nigel?
No.
He might have come just after you, actually, thinking about it.
Do you know, I'm not being big-headed or nasty, but when I played for Watford, and I've played most of my career at the top level, I never really took much interest in the sides below us. And it sounds cocky, but I was expected to beat the sides below us. It wasn't one of them where I'm thinking, what if we get beat by these? It was the Liverpools and the Man Uniteds that you used to think, bloody hell, we got a game on here. So without being complacent and without being big-headed, I was expected to win them games.
Yeah. Did you always win them?
I've not played in many games where we've lost as teams below us.
No. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, right, Gal, do you want to go back? Do you want to take back over, mate?
Yeah, okay. So I think I just want to. Hopefully, we got Gary back. Gary, are you hearing me loud and clear, mate? It's just not working, is it? Oh, there's a massive delay.
You now, I've lost the last 5 or 10 minutes show though.
Yeah. I think
problem is what we had last time.
Say again, mate. I can't quite hear Gary. Can you guys hear?
No.
Can you hear Gary?
No, the reflection's bad, I think.
It's bits and pieces.
We're struggling, Gal, to hear you, mate. I think, I don't know whether it's the internet connection or what.
I know it's bad. It keeps breaking up, mate. It's the same.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's your.
I mean, look. I mean, what we do, we'll touch back on because we cut it a bit short. We'll just touch back on the Forest thing.
Yeah,
try and get as much input as we can from you, and then if you just want to sit back and join in the rest of the show where you can. Yeah. And maybe what we do, we'll find out a better way of getting hold of you for another show.
Yeah.
And do it that way. I mean, going back to Forest, I mean, 2 amazing scout. And to be fair, Huddersfield in the last round wasn't exactly a pushover. I mean, they're riding high, aren't they? Pushing for promotion.
That's right. They're a good side. We all said, we got past Arsenal, then we never expected the Leicester game to pan out like it did. I mean, I was totally shocked there. We thought Leicester was going to be, but we all said the Huddersfield game is probably going to be the hardest of the lot because there was above us in the league, we still are, and to come past Huddersfield after going to go down as well, credit to the lads for battling back. That was the toughest game was. Been an amazing cup run. Who would have expected little old Forest to, get this far?
You say little old Forest, mate, but let's face it, you're a club with a really big history. And the one thing that maybe younger supporters around the country and Forest, Liverpool supporters maybe don't realise is the deep-rooted rivalry that was Forest Liverpool back in the 80s. That was a big rivalry, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, I've been talking to was in the stemming back to the late 70s when we first got promotion in 76, 77. We drawn them in the I think then we continued the rivalry internationals. We finished third in the league 2 years on the bell. We'd qualified for Europe, but for English clubs were banned at the time. I saw to Liverpool only yesterday, Sunday, and he's weren't old enough to remember the 70s or the 80s, and he can't understand the rivalry. You know what I mean? You don't get sort of. You know what I mean? A lot of older Liverpool lads have been telling him about the battles in the 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? So it brings back, and there was hoping, Liverpool fans were hoping we'd beat Huddersfield because they wanted that tie. He was telling me they all wanted to come to Forest, proper old school ground, proper old school crowd. You know, it's going to be a massive match on Sunday, massive for Nottingham. So, and Liverpool fans are going to enjoy it as well. I think they're looking forward to coming down, visiting the City Ground. First time in,
I bet they are.
Yeah, first time that we played them since 1999. You know, years.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like you say, big rivals back in the day. Both vying to be European champions back then, weren't you? So, yeah, it's a massive game.
Yeah, it's huge, really. Yeah, it's a proper epic old school British football match, isn't it? Against two. I call us little, saying what way we've gone in the last 20 years. I won't really call us little. We've got a massive fan base, and we sell out every week. We need a bigger ground. We could have sold the Liverpool game twice over. There's only 5,000 tickets. We've got 20,000 season ticket holders. Liverpool 4,700. I think there's only 5,000 tickets. They didn't even go to. I don't think they didn't. They wouldn't have gone to general sale. And tickets. Forest had 50,000 inquiries for tickets. So we could have sold 60, 70,000.
Yeah, absolutely. And who would you want in the semi if you get through, mate? Man City?
No. I said in the previous round when I wanted to avoid Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea in the quarters. I wanted everything at home because as well, I think we could beat them at home. I think Middlesbrough my goals are shocking against Chelsea. I know not. It's like, well, if Chelsea get through, because there won't have many fans at Wembley anyway, would they? I think Palace will beat Everton anyway, and I think City's going to win at Southampton.
Everton are in a mess,
I do think Middlesbrough will push Chelsea all the way. They're in a mess. Yeah, I think Middlesbrough. Yeah, Everton's in a mess. Probably. If Borough beat Chelsea, I wouldn't mind Borough in the semi-final. But or Palace
would guarantee a championship side in the FA Cup final, wouldn't it? That'd be nice.
Yeah. I was told the other day as well. If we can get to the final, when we lose it, then there's a chance we can go in the Europa League. Is that right? Because if we play City in the final, they're going to obviously City, Chelsea in the final. They're going Champions League, so we get a European spot, won't we?
Possibly. I don't know if they give the Premier League.
You've got to win the cup to get it. Yeah, you'd have to win the cup. If you win the cup, you'll get a spot. But runners-up used to get it. They don't anymore. You've got to win the cup. Yeah. Right, chaps, I'm going to jump off 2 seconds because I think I'm blocking Simon. So I'm going to jump off again for a couple of minutes and I'll be straight back. Over to you, chaps.
All right. It's a shame that Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool avoided each other in the semi-finals or in the quarter-finals because you wanted one of them to get taken out to give us other teams a chance. But yeah, I'm the same as you, Gary. I'm hoping if we beat Everton, we want to avoid the big boys, didn't you? You want the biggest chance to get through the final. You can, didn't you?
I suppose you'd want Forest in the semis then, wouldn't you, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking. Well, we've had some good games against you in the cup over the years, like some. Yeah, all them replays we had all that time, and
that's right. Yeah,
but yeah. Without being condescending, Forest would be a good choice for us. But I suppose you'd say the same about Palace if it comes. You want us out of the big boys.
Yeah, I just said that. I want to avoid Man City in the semis. I think that Forest Palace will be a cracking match because Palace are a good footballing team. I watched the Millwall game early on in the earlier rounds, and I thought I was very impressed by Palace second half. We've got some great. So I think that will be a proper good football game.
Yeah, because you can play as well, can't you? He's got them.
Yeah,
Steve Cooper,
football. Yeah, we got a great footballing team at the moment. We play good stuff. It's entertaining again. The fans are loving it. I went down last night, second half. We played some amazing football last night, second half.
Yeah, because we was looking at Steve Cooper.
Palace against. Yeah, he's a great manager, mate. He's a great manager. We're loving him.
We was looking at him before we got Vieira.
He's like God at the moment. Hopefully, it carries on.
Yeah, no, definitely. Who do you think's name's on the cup then, Nigel?
Right.
I don't know. I was just listening to Gary there. I mean, Forest are playing some good football. I mean, obviously, I follow Derby, so I'll be cheering Liverpool on. But it's not easy, but it's easier to play good football in a league below the Premier. I mean, when you get into the Premier League, the good football they're playing in there is a level above. So, and maybe they don't give you a chance to play the football you want. So I understand what you're saying about Forest are playing some good football at the moment, but when you're going up against your Chelseas, your Liverpools, your Man Cities, the level of good football they're playing in the Premier League is way above the Championship.
You've got to get hold of the ball, haven't you? That's the main problem.
And they're closing down, they're pressuring, and that's what Liverpool and Man City seem to do very good. As soon as they lose the ball, they're winning it back, and then winning it back in the final third of the field.
In good positions, and they winning it back. Yeah. Their fitness levels are unbelievable. How they keep their energy levels up. And
the movement off the ball, it's just unbelievable. Like you see the movement they have at Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and then sort of going to. I mean, Watford, they're struggling at the moment down the bottom. They're not. They'll battle against them teams, but they won't be able to outplay them.
No. What did they call the press years ago in the 80s, Nigel? Because obviously you pressed. Players, forwards pressed, like Ian Russ was brilliant, didn't he? Pressing the back four. But it seems to be like it's this new thing all of a sudden. But it's been around for years, isn't it, this press? Yeah,
when I was at Watford, Graham Taylor had all the games analysed. And he said that 33% of the goals that teams scored were scored by winning the ball back in the final third.
Right.
So basically, we used to play balls into spaces, and it was centre forward's job to cut off the back pass. And the two wingers had to press onto the fullback, so that 9 times out of 10 we get a throw in 30 yards up the pitch, if you know what I mean. So even back in them days, he was saying you've got to win the ball back in the final third, and you will score goals. And I think
Ian Russ was unbelievable. He used to work so hard up front with Liverpool. Unbelievable. Must have been a nightmare for a defender to play against him. Not because he was brilliant, but because of his. You don't get a chance. Yeah. You back on us now, Gary?
Yeah. God, I just ain't getting this right at all tonight. I'm back with you. Loads of technical issues tonight on the show, isn't there? So I do apologise to everybody. We're all having a bit of an issue. Simon, me, Gary, we've all had it. So one of them gremlin nights. I think it's because it's Paddy's Day. It's all going wrong on us. But anyway. Right, it's about that time where I make a bit of a mug of myself, and we do other news. Now, not sure if Simon's going to put the little clip on or not. Give me a chance to put my hair on. Gary, this is a bit of where we turn it all into a bit of a comedy now, mate. So, in other news, and Simon's not. God, look at me wig. It's gone all wrong. I didn't have enough time to sort it out. Right, in other news then. Cheltenham in full swing. Going well. Bit of a downpour, but the Gold Cup tomorrow. The Formula One's back this weekend with the Bahrain Grand Prix. Trials starting either, is it tomorrow or Saturday? England smashing it out in the West Indies. Look at this rug on my head. Now you know what I would look like with hair. So England smashing it out in the West Indies. They were, don't know what they are now, but they were half hour ago, 487 for 6. Mr. Root, 153. Mr. Stokes is at 120 when he was bowled out. Oh, well, Gary will give us a little bit more on this because I know you was at it. But on Saturday night, Wood versus Conlon. It was going Conlon's way according to the judges' score sheet, and then bosh! He hit him with a sledgehammer, had him hanging out the ropes. Wood retains his title with a whole of Nottingham behind him. And I think Gary will be able to give us a bit more. And I think he might even be boxing at the City Ground soon. But we'll touch on that with Gary a bit more. And of course, it is Paddy's Day today. It's St. Patrick's Day when all the Irish come out and celebrate a Welshman. It's wonderful. I have no Guinness, but I do have a Bailey's. Cheers and top of the morning to you all. There you go. That was other news. Now back to normal. Gary, quickly though, you was at the Wood Conlon fight on Saturday night, weren't you?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Atmosphere was electric.
I've seen something today saying it's one of the best fights of all time.
Well, it's probably the best I've ever been to most of the Froch fights, and it's up there with the best I've been to. Yeah, the atmosphere. I think it helped that Forest were at home that day, and everyone had been out all day to watch the match. Forest won 4-0. There's a feel-good factor in Nottingham at the moment. I took my boy, he's only 12, to his first boxing match. He absolutely loved it. Didn't take his eyes off it. I thought Lee was fantastic. I didn't realise he was so far behind in the fight until I watched it on telly on Monday night again. And he had to knock him out to win in the last round. It was absolutely amazing. And that Conlon's some boxer as well. It was just two warriors went to war, didn't they? It was non-stop all the way through the fight.
Do you reckon you'll get your next fight at the City Ground?
Well, we're hoping he's always wanted this. It's his dream. It looks like he's going to fight Josh Warrington, the winner of Josh Warrington's fight, in a couple of weeks. But I think if he wins that one, he's belt slightly higher in Lee's, I've heard today. And Eddie Hearn wants a big bucks, done said. They could go to Ellen Road if Warrington wins. So we might have to go to Ellen Road, which was 40,000.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
That would be some night up there, yeah. I think it would be.
It?
I think I might get VIP hospitality that night to keep out of the way.
I mean, boxing is, I know it's a football show, but boxing, you look at a lot of these boxers, they're heavily connected, a lot of them, to the football supporters of the club that they support. I mean,
That's right.
And
massive Forest. Massive, he's proper Forest fan as well. He's a proper, true Forest fan. I mean, Carl Froch was made out he was a Forest fan, but he's not a Forest fan. He's a Manchester United fan. But he went off the back of Forest to get the support in the early days. But Lee Wood's a proper Forest fan. He sat in front of me a couple of weeks ago, as it happens. I know Lee very well. He's a good lad. He's a proper Forest.
You had him down at Colton Town, didn't you?
Yeah, I had him down at Carlton Town at the beginning of the season against Ilkeston as a special VIP guest, and he just won the world title in Eddie Hearn's back garden, and he brought his belt down he went on the pitch with it, posed with the supporters, and did a little Q&A for us outside the clubhouse. He's a proper good lad.
Great, and just mentioning as well, we're talking about Forest there, but Colton Town have got a massive semi-final in the Not Senior Cup, haven't they, against Nottingham Forest under 23s on coming up 12th of April. Yeah. And I'm going to try and get up there to that. Yeah,
that'd be a cracking. We're expecting to break our record gate. We're pre-selling tickets. So I'll have them done in the next couple of days. It's Andy Reid, is the manager of the under 23s as well. Andy's a good lad. So we're expecting that biggest crowd. So it's probably one of the biggest games in Carlton's history, to be honest with you.
Who do you want to win, though?
I know. I spoke to Andy as soon as the draw was made, and he said to me, you're not going to know who to support that night, are you? You know what I mean? As it half and half's made, and they're selling quite well at the moment, pre-orders. So to commemorate the game.
I mean, absolutely. I see you get permission from Forest for that. And mate, right. Obviously, half and half scars, I do ridicule them a little bit, but there is a time and a place for an half and half scar, and that is one of them. That is absolutely on the money to do that, because it is a massive thing for Colton Town to have Forest come along. You know,
that's right.
these under-23 sides are the ones that play in that what's it called nowadays?
Papa John's, is it? Papa John's trophy?
Papa John's or whatever. So this is a big deal for Carlton, a massive deal. It really is. I look forward to it. I really do.
It's massive. It's massive. I mean, you know, my lad wants to know. Yeah, it's going to be a great night, mate. With Bob, double sponsorships. We hadn't even had to advertise the sponsorships. We took double sponsorships for the night. And we got Mike Neal as our VIP guest director in Cricket Club. It's going to be a fun evening. Andy's going to bump it out there on the Forest websites and that for us.
Cool.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
I'm going to chuck something at all of you now. So, I mean, look, this season's FA Cup has been absolutely stunning. It really has. I mean, the upsets and the lower sides doing so well. It's been an outstanding cup tie. So, cups run for everyone. So far, chaps, if I go round you, starting with Nigel, what's been your highlights so far, the FA Cup?
Probably the one that Bournemouth has. For the size, a club their size to get where they got in the cup was, I mean, they probably won the cup getting that far. So it was good for the town. It's great for supporters when they get to go to the big clubs and stuff like that. You know, that don't happen a lot of them clubs. So well done to Bournemouth for this one.
Yeah, Dan, I know your side is still in it, but
yeah. For me, I think it was Cambridge winning away at Newcastle when it was like a big Ferrari. Yeah. Eddie Howe just took over, brand new players, 52,000 there, and they went and beat them 1-0. So I think that was that was a brilliant moment. That's what the cup's all about, isn't it? David against Goliath, isn't it? So, and also Watford getting knocked out was another highlight.
You know what? As far as Bournemouth getting as far as they did, and well done to them, I would personally say that was probably the result of the whole competition, and it won't be bettered, really, unless Forest go and beat Man City 3-0 in the final. Maybe I'd give them that. But I think you're right. Cambridge going up to Newcastle, getting that win up there. I mean, as much as Newcastle were at rock bottom at the time, weren't they? They were struggling like mad. But what an absolute stunning! I think that one for me as well, Gary. I mean, obviously, I'm guessing you got a few highlights of the cup. I mean, what's been your biggest highlight so far, mate?
Well, I could mention a few. Yeah, I mean, as a neutral, I like Cambridge United. I mean, family's from Cambridge. My dad was born in Cambridge, so that was a good Cambridge winning at Newcastle. I enjoyed that, to be honest with you. But even though I've got a lot of Newcastle mates as well, so I've got to be a bit. You know what I mean? But I think stuff in Leicester, because Leicester really thought they was going to just walk all over us. And beating Leicester, the way we beat them, just the way we beat them, we went to them aside in the first 30 minutes. It's just the way we beat them. You know what I mean? So it's got to be beating Leicester.
It certainly upset the fans, didn't it? One of them's ended up doing a bit of porridge, mate.
Guys,
the clown that ran on the pitch.
Guys, just got a question for the two Garys, right? Obviously, when you play football, when I play football, you don't like losing. But sometimes you're playing games where you think, bloody hell, that must have been a great game to watch. Now, I don't know whether you remember when we went to Forest, Watford, and we lost 7-3. And I think it was like 1-0, 1-0, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3, 4-3. Then we missed the penalty. Then Forest got the fifth goal. And they beat us 7-3. And Taylor was sort of like, not in the middle of bollocking us. He was just like giving us a team talk after the match. And Brian Clough came in and he said, I just wanted to come in and applaud you for that match. It was like a great match. Could have gone anyway. But we lost 7-3. But I just come up the pitch thinking, what a game that was. Can you remember that? It was. I think it was the League Cup.
I remember the result, and I can't remember whether I was there or not. I went to Forest a few times, you know, in the old open air terrace end when the away end was up in that open air terrace, that big terrace in the corner.
Was it the League Cup?
I remember the result.
Yeah.
I mean, I think to answer your question, I think the truth of the matter,
because you stuffed us 4-1.
Oh, we did. I remember that one. I do remember that one because we beat Southampton 7-1. at home before you.
Yeah,
We was in Division 2.
Remember what?
That and 4-1. I was in the
he
rookery
beat us.
that in
He beat
night.
us. Yeah, I can remember we
there's
beat
been
in
some
the
great
FA Cup
games
one
against
Sunday night on the
Forest.
telly. Yeah,
I
can remember
do
winning at
think
Watford in the FA Cup. I think Lee
3-0.
Chapman scored.
3-0 you beat us at Watford
There was some good games
in the FA Cup. Didn't quite catch that, sorry.
Is there some cracking games between the two of you?
There has been. No, absolutely. No, there's been some cracking games between Watford and Forest, without a doubt. You know, but Nigel, I think...
there was.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think there are games where if you lose, you win, you draw, if they've been that exhilarating and your side has put that much into it, I think you're right. You can, even as a fan, walk away and think, wow, what a game. I mean, I remember playing, I think more recent times, we played Chelsea and I think we lost 2-1 or something. But Watford were, in the first half, we went 1-0 up and Watford was sublime. I can't remember what the end result was. I think we lost, or was it a draw? No, it was a draw. But Watford in the first half were absolutely sublime against Chelsea. Unbelievable. It was like, you know, they playing like they were like, you know, European champions. And even though it was a 0-0 draw or 1-0, I can't remember now, but you come away from the game and you're like, oh my God, that was just the best draw. You know, and I know there's been games throughout the history of me going where, yes, we may have lost the odd game, but they've been absolutely mad, you know, and, you know, the teams have given their all and you can't knock that. I think fans get upset when the team doesn't try. I think when a team can't be bothered to put the effort in, you know, and I think that's when the fans really do get upset. You know, they can see that. But I think if the team perform and give it their best, but on the day the best team wins, I think, you know.
Coming to Sunday's game, big game. I mean, I just hope we don't. Hope we put performance in. If we go out, we go out. As long as we give the nation a cracking game of football, you know, and we give our all, and you know, we go out, but we go out battling. You know, that's the main thing, isn't it? And it's a cracking game. If we go out, you know what I mean.
I think the first 10 minutes is going to be first 10 minutes will be important because Liverpool they come out the traps, don't they? If you can,
I think if we can not concede an early goal, that's the thing. We did that 1-0 down first 10, 15 minutes. You know, because I think we'll go all out attack as well. You know, we'll hit them. We'll try and hit Leicester. As long as we don't concede, we give them a good game. We give them a run for the money and a cracking game of football. That's the main thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
No, really looking forward to these games the weekend. Just
I
touch
hope that answered your question, Nige. You know, I mean, I think as fans, we do want to see the players perform, and I think when they don't, and you can clearly see they can't be bothered, especially nowadays with the money they're on, you can't help but get a little bit moody. I mean, the Leicester fans obviously not happy with their performance at Forest in the Cup, and let's be honest, you know, Nottingham made them look stupid. To be fair, you know, and if I was a Leicester fan, I think I'd probably be proper pissed off with that performance. You know. So I think it is all about the performance, and if the players are showing the passion for the badge, then you don't mind so much.
Well, I've just touched on Nigel's question here. The best game one of the best games I've seen at Sellers was a 3-3 draw. That was but that was Liverpool were 3-0 up. This is not that long ago, and then we got 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. They derailed their title hopes, but that was a draw, and that it felt like a win. But that was again, like you say.
Sorry, the fans go away happy, don't they?
Oh, God.
You know,
Liverpool fans did.
3-3. I think with the frustration with the fans as well is like the price of tickets these days are ridiculous. So when, you know, they're probably sacrificing a few things to pay for them tickets. So when they see players not putting in the effort and they know that they're getting paid all that money, you know, they're bound to get upset about it because it's frustrating. I mean, it was interesting to see that Chelsea players said in the paper today that they're earning that much money at the moment that if they had to pay some money towards going in the coaches or getting to away games, it wouldn't be a problem for them. Which just shows you the amount of money they're on, because they capped it at 20,000 for their expenses, didn't they, at Chelsea?
I've heard they've announced they've just given that a rise to 60k.
Oh, right.
That's what I've read just in about last hour or so. That they've actually, I mean, why? Why? Get a National Express and stay in a travelling. Go on, be brave, Chelsea. I mean, on the Chelsea subject, I'm glad you brought it up. I mean, they made a real proper boo-boo this week. I know they revoked it, but they still, unfortunately, put the question to Middlesbrough, which I think is an absolute disgrace. Was because our fans are not allowed to buy tickets, they wanted it played behind closed doors. Well, what arrogance was that?
For sporting integrity, they said, didn't they? They're the front saying that, didn't they?
I mean, that was disgrace. I mean, they revoked it very quickly. I think even their own fans said, well, what's going on here?
Yeah,
it just shows you the arrogance of some of these clubs. That was disgraceful.
But if they win the game, I wrote about it earlier, but they get 720 grand, I think, for quarterfinalists. Whoever win, that's how much you get. But does that go in a fund? Do Chelsea get that? Because they're not allowed to earn any money, are they? And do they get 47% of the gate receipts for the Middlesbrough game? Because you
45,
get
45.
45.
Yeah,
Will they get that, or does that go in? Does that go in a holding fund
to the FA? The whole thing's a debacle, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, all right, the owner is what they're at. You know what? The Premier League have been up against the government this week, and they've turned around and said, we're looking into Russians' dirty money in the Premier League. Well, fill your boots, Premier League, because you've got Saudi dirty money, you've got Chinese dirty money. The Premier League is full of dirty money. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't get me wrong. What Russia's doing is totally wrong, and I'm totally. It's ridiculous. But I think in the Chelsea situation, I just don't understand why they just go right from today. Any money earned by Chelsea goes here into a government fund that sits there till they decide what to do with it. Why does Chelsea have to suffer? I can appreciate what people are saying, but they cannot be hypocritical and go, well, he shouldn't have been friendly with Putin. The money, or the money, the dirty money, whatever you want to call it, because if that's the case, then I'm afraid the Premier League is going to lose all its owners because there's so much, well, not dirty money, but they call it sports cleansing or something. I don't know.
Sports washing, isn't it?
Washing their money, isn't it? They're calling it, aren't they? And it's not just Chelsea; it's all of them. There's an element of foreign money that comes in. They don't make any money out of these clubs hardly. Most of the clubs are running at a loss.
Championship as well with Birmingham City. They've had a massive load of Hong Kong money, Chinese. They don't even know where the money comes from, do they? There's some office in Hong Kong.
This is the thing, and I mean, I'll get your feeling now. The rest of you. I just think Chelsea are getting a raw deal here. I really do. I think when again it comes down to me that the club is about the fans. It ain't about the owners, and it ain't about the bloody players. It's the fans that make a club. The fans are at the club all their lives. The players are there for a very short time, and managers, especially at Watford, whoa, But at the end of the day, I can't see why they just can't go. Right, there you go. There's a fund. You put it in there. Put all the money to Ukraine if you want. But I don't understand why they've got to punish the fans. And then to add to that, obviously UEFA have announced that unless the club's sold, they will not be allowed any fans home or away at the quarter-final of the European Cup. Well, it's a serious question. How many Chelsea fans live anywhere near Chelsea? What is their connection? I was at Stamford Bridge with Palace in the 80s, and there were 9,500 in the crowd. I don't know who's asked the question, but I mean, to be honest with you, if you look back in the 80s at most ground capacities and what they were getting, you'll be surprised how Newcastle United were only getting 15, 16,000. Forest were a higher up the scale because they were like top dogs down there in them days. But you look at a lot of these clubs now that are getting the big crowds. You look at their crowds in the 80s, they weren't so big. So, again, I don't think we can keep pinpointing this down to Chelsea, really.
There are a lot of plastics, though, tourists. There are a lot of tourists and plastics at football, though, especially the Premier League.
Oh, it's at every club.
And more the bigger sides like Chelsea and Liverpool.
It's at every club.
But it's the fans who will go to them European games, the quarterfinal away, who will be affected. They're the staunch fans who go follow them all over the world, everywhere. And they're the ones I feel sorry for. They're the ones that have been shit on, really.
But Paul Younger, sorry, Paul, I didn't quite see. You are right, though. I mean, there are some, like, I think looking at that, it's one of your Palace fans, mate. Paul, I think you're right. You know, Palace has still got a traditional support there, maybe with a small amount of tourism. But, I mean, some of these other... And it ain't just Chelsea. I mean, it's all of them. I mean, City, you know, Man United and Liverpool been like it for donkey's years, haven't they? You know, most of the support, and even in Manchester, it comes outside. But I still don't think it's fair pinpointing it all on Chelsea. I just think as fans are getting a raw deal. The club punished for their ownership. All right, I get it. But I'm sure there's a better way of doing this than what they're doing anyway. What do you think, chaps? Nigel, what do you reckon on it?
Yeah, I mean, like, it just seems like they're trying to sort everything out at Chelsea, apart from the situation where the fans can't get tickets. So that seems to be pushed to the back of the queue. And yeah, it's wrong, really. Like you said, it's the fans that go to the matches, the fans that pay the money for the tickets. And like some of them have been going there for the last 20 years. So to have this sort of force on them when it's not their fault, I think the FA and whoever it is, they need to get it sorted out quickly. There's got to be a way around it.
Well, they're not punishing Abramovich, are they? Let's be honest. He's got money to burn. They're only punishing the fans, and they're not Russian. Let's be honest.
I think they're sending the papers.
Some might be, but
so they're sending the papers. They're trying to get. Maybe they could sell them through a third party. So I don't know whether that'll be a solution to it or not.
No. Gary, what's your opinion on it, mate?
Yeah, I've got a lot of Chelsea mates from back in the day. I agree with you what you said, Gaz. You know, I've got Chelsea mates that followed Chelsea from the early 70s throughout the 80s when there were 10, 12,000 at Stamford Bridge, and they've been all around the world following them. You know, and being stopped, you know, they're suffering. You know that's their life. Going week in, week out, and they can't go. They put us on that, so you got to feel for the fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
totally agree what you said.
It's a sad situation.
Fans, you know, these guys were following Chelsea in the old second division. You know what I mean? Before they became a rich, you know, Chelsea. I used to look Chelsea in the early 70s. You know, the Allens and that, the team they had then. You know what I mean? And these guys have followed him since then. So you got to feel they'll be there through thick and thin, and they're not able to go, are they?
No, I think we're probably all on the same hymn sheet here, aren't we? Really, that is. Look, we all think, whatever Abramovich has done is what he's done. You look at a lot of the clubs; they've all got some answering to do for different types of money that comes into their clubs. But at the end of the day, again, it's the fans that are suffering. So
they could have dealt with it better. They could have dealt with it a lot better, but now it's opening a can of worms for themselves. So
they're just punishing the fans at the moment. Like we said, Abramovich, I think, what was it I heard? Oh, yeah, one of his planes landed in Israel before it went on to Moscow. They weren't sure whether he was in it, of course, or he might have been in one of his £3 billion yachts or whatever. The guy's not being. The only reason that guy is punished is as I said last week, I believe he loved Chelsea. I really do. I mean, the guy lived and breathed Chelsea as much as anything else. But when it comes to money, they can't punish him. They just can't. It's like coming to me and saying, we're taking a tenner off you this week for being a naughty boy. Oh, here's your tenner. And that's what money's like for this fella. But the fans are suffering. Right, okay. So we had to get that one out of the way, I think. On
touch on that veterans thing, Gary, the combined football, the big game in May the 14th.
Yes. Just before you do, Dan, Paul's mentioned something else which I believe's right, and just something I want to put to Gary from that. So he's said about the clubs putting the away ticket cap in the Prem of 30 quid. Although it's still too much, it does stop clubs taking the piss. Down in the Championship, Gal, there are clubs that take the piss a bit still, aren't there? That charging quite a lot to the away fans.
Yeah,
I know Leeds was one of them when they were down there. 45 quid they were charging.
And Sheffield Wednesday, they'll charge. You know, when they was in the Championship, I don't know what the charge in the first division, but it was always about £30 Sheffield Wednesday.
Norwich is another one when they were down
charging
there.
Quite a bit. We should be playing full. Yeah, I think I paid £30 for Bournemouth for what off the other week of tickets. I'm sure that was Forest is reasonable, to be honest with you. Few of it large, you know, in the Champions 5, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I've never understood why
I don't go games.
The cap isn't in the Championship as well.
I think Leeds. I thought Leeds was always £40 in the Championship. When Leeds were in the Championship, it was always 40 quid.
Yeah, Leeds was.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of money.
I think even £45. Leeds were one of the worst. Norwich, I know when they were down, they were really expensive.
But Gary, do you remember when Middlesbrough come? Sorry, Gary, Middlesbrough fans come under a bit of stick the club for the for Man United when they was Man United come under stick for the 47 quid they was charging the FA Cup. But then some other fans did. Yeah, but Middlesbrough were charging 40 odd quid for away fans in the Championship during the season. So they're another rip-off club and all sometimes, I think.
Yeah. Don't understand why they didn't cap it in the Championship. I really don't. I know we're running out of time, chaps. So, something close to all our hearts is our veterans, our wonderful veterans. And next week,
Derby.
Sorry. No. Okay, go. Sorry, when you played Derby?
I've lost you, lad.
All right. We're running out of time now.
Yeah,
I know close to all our hearts is our wonderful veterans.
35 when we play Derby.
Oh, we got a delay with Gary, bless him, haven't we? Yeah, 30. Yeah, local derby, I suppose. I know Cat A and Cat B it used to be, didn't it? But listen, we're running out of time rapidly. I know close to our hearts is our wonderful veterans, and there is a football match been arranged that Dan's going to tell us more about. Gary, I know you're close to this as well. Nigel, you're going to find out about it now, and hopefully the chap organising this, who's a massive Burnley fan, is going to hopefully be on the show next week. So, Dan, give us a little bit of an insight into what's going on there.
Yeah, so it's set up an armed forces veterans football team, and through football they want to just get the word out there so they can raise awareness and funds for all the struggles that the veterans suffer when they come out of the army, whether it's like PTSD or there's many other issues as well they suffer. So they want to use football to just push it out there because obviously it's a massive platform. But it spoke to John, I don't want to get his name wrong, John O'Farrelly, and spoke to him last night, but a really lovely fella, only a young fella as well. But they've got their team Combined Veterans UK Football Club, and on the 14th of May, they got a massive game against the Royal Air Force.
RAF one, yeah.
Yeah, LNER Stadium in Lincoln City. Lovely little ground. So they're open for 5,000 to get there. The tickets, it's on our Facebook page, the link to get tickets. And 14th of May, Saturday, 3:00 kickoff. So it should be a great day. And yeah, they've got loads of other good stuff. So even check out their Facebook page. It's Combined Veterans UK Football Club. They've got a like page on Facebook, and there's some other they've got raffles going on, some great prizes. for other stuff, just to raise money for these big charities. The PTSD Resolution's one great charity that don't get a lot of advertisement, and they're raising money for Blesma next week as well, which is veterans who've lost their limbs, and they support them throughout their life. This Blesma organisation, so they're doing great work, and it's just about getting their name out there and trying to promote this. What they're doing with this football team. So wish them good luck.
And we're going to go up to that, aren't we? And we'll do an away day up there. An away day.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. But you know him well, Gary, don't you?
Yeah, Gary's already been advertising it himself.
Yeah. Cass Pennant hooked me in with them. They did a game at Callaghan Town last year, and we gave them the pitch. First time we met the guys, and a bunch of lads. Jono, who you mentioned, then he lives down at Weston-super-Mare, and I go down that way a couple of times a year. I always hook up with him down Weston and coffee with him. He's a great lad. And they made my lad mascot for that game at Lincoln City. Fair play to him. So we'll all be there. I'm going to try and get as many people down there as possible to help them out.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sure between us all we can give that a lot of support. So it's time to wrap up, gentlemen. All I can say to everyone who's watched it, fair play for putting up with all our technical issues. We're going to have a little look at this, ready for next week. We do apologise. Nigel, been a pleasure as always, and you can join Nigel at 9 o'clock on Mixcloud and hear some cracking tunes. So don't forget to join. What's your what do they look for on Mixcloud again, Nigel?
It's if they go onto my page, there's a link. Just click on the link and it'll take you straight to the Mixcloud page.
That's it. Go to Nigel Callaghan on Facebook, and if you're not already a friend on there, he'll befriend you. Don't worry. He likes lots of friends on there. So, but yeah, he's every night on that, except Saturday night when you're out gigging.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, cool. And it is good. Great music. All the sort of music us old fellas love.
Be a few Irish ones on tonight as well.
Anyway, so thank you very much, gentlemen. I know it's been a difficult one tonight, but we've managed to get through it. If you want to hang on for a moment, we'll put the end credits on and then we can just say our goodbyes after that. To everyone watching, thank you very much. Once again, join us next Thursday. Please, we really need people to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, go to our YouTube channel at Proper Football and subscribe. We would very much appreciate it. But until then, it's good night from me.
Good night from me.
Good night from me.
Brilliant.
Sound like the 3 Ronnies, don't we?
Now we're relying on our man who's had major technical issues to put the closing credits up. Oh dear.